Okay, so this video, in my opinion, is fucking mandatory. And if you agree on any level, if you feel what Digital Homicide is doing is totally fucked up, I highly recommend that you make your own video, talk about it during a podcast, retweet, share, all that good stuff. I highly suggest you do that. It appears that Digital Homicide has officially retired, hung up their gloves, threw in the towel when it comes to video game development. And if you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What does he mean? Well, do you remember when Digital Homicide would always threaten Jim Sterling with lawsuits? They actually went ahead with it. This is actually going to sound surreal or made up, but they were looking to sue Jim Sterling using your money. That's right. Sue Jim Sterling using your money. These lazy sons of bitches took lazy to a whole new level. They were actually hoping to lean on public support. They started a crowdfunding thing to pay for their legal battle. Get the fuck out of here. But I mean, it's Digital Homicide. Of course they fucking did, and of course it fucking backfired. I mean, Digital Homicide, you had a hard time flipping those assets before. Do you actually think it's going to get any easier from here? I think you're well aware that this is the end, okay? You're officially retiring. You're going all in with this, and that was a big mistake. It's no secret, Digital Homicide. Your best thinking has gotten you places where I don't think you really wanted to end up. So maybe when that happens continually, it's best to have someone else think for you. But of course, you're stubborn, you're bullheaded, and you actually think you're going to be able to pull this off. That's how fucking ridiculous your thinking is. And you might be saying, oh, here we go. Here's one of Jim Sterling's minions. That could not be further from the truth. But here's the thing. This thing right here that I'm hearing about is so goddamn fucked up. And although I don't see eye to eye on certain things with Jim Sterling, this takes absolute precedence. You motherfuckers, I was done for the day when it comes to YouTube. I have to pace myself because of my health, unfortunately, but I felt this was a mandatory thing. And what makes matters worse, you slimy fucks? When Jim Sterling was in your game, your newest piece of shit game, which may I add, he did not tear to pieces. I personally would have, because that game was complete and utter fucking trash. But I personally think, and I'm not speaking for Jim here, this is just my opinion, that he wanted to get this chapter, this Digital Homicide versus Jim Sterling chapter of his life over with. Saw that the game wasn't a complete and total asset flip, and on that alone, gave you the benefit of the doubt, tipped his hat, and left the fucking building. Just like the sneaky, nasty, deceiving fucking piece of shit that you are, you were inside the chat while Jim Sterling was in your game acting as if everything was just dandy. You're a coward. You're a fucking coward, Robert. You know you're a coward. You know you're a yellow bastard. And this idea that you were acting like everything was all good, well, me personally, I would have done things differently. If I still would have had a problem with Jim Sterling, I either would have took the mature route, which would be, ignore him, or tell him to go fuck himself. You? Nah, that's not your style. You had to be a little fucking slimeball, acting as if everything's all good, everything's cool, everything's kosher, and then boom. So I just want you to remember, when you get a dose of that humiliation, a taste of that fucking defeat and embarrassment on a whole new level, because I promise you it's going to be like fucking whoa, and it's all going to come from your own hands, from your own decisions. This is all stuff you're asking for, and you must lay down at night and understand completely and utterly what you're doing and how disgraceful and disgusting it is. You're an American just like I am. You know, this kind of thing is a really nasty, shitty thing to do. And because we all know that you have a warped way of thinking, when you saw that last Jim Sterling video on your latest piece of shit asset flip, you must have said to yourself, well, look at this. He's not shitting all over my game. I smell weakness. I mean, did you watch that video? And because he was not tearing your fucking cunt asset flip apart, that you actually saw that as a way of him conceding or something? I mean, seriously. I mean, what's your deal, you fucking bozo? I mean, you took lazy to a whole different level. I'm going to tell you that right now, and it could be proven. I mean, look, dude, you're fucking flipping assets and shit like that, that's one thing. But you're going to launch a lawsuit and then expect the public to pick up the fucking tab? You're using a crowdfunder to pick up a tab to launch a fucking lawsuit that isn't warranted? Are you okay, dude? $10 million. Bobby, do us all a favor. Go stick your head in a microwave for about a minute on high. Come back and rethink this, okay? Because I don't think you thought it through. A $10 million fucking lawsuit. And you're going to crowdfunding, a Kickstarter, to fund this lawsuit. Are you mad? I mean, I'm going to give you a recommendation, a suggestion really quickly before I go. Come back down and touch reality every now and then. It's not a bad thing to do. I highly recommend it. Little Robert couldn't even get this lawsuit done by himself. He had to look for help because he's a little baby. A little baby. And while you're on the batshit crazy train, why don't you just go and sue PewDiePie for $50 million while you're at it? Why not? Go all in, dude.